Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I am sitting in my craft room right now. Decided to do my makeup in here so I could set you here and talk to you while I do it. But basically, so sorry to all of you who are watching Vlogmas and I just stopped vlogging. It's very unlike me to not finish a project like as I'm starting it. And then I started thinking a lot. So it's a new year and you guys really like vlogs. Like every time I post a vlog, it gets a lot of engagement. You guys really enjoy it. And I really like making them. So I set a goal for myself this year, a resolution, if you will, that I wanted to make more vlogs this year. So that's what I'm doing. I set a loose goal of like one per week or one for every 2 weeks. I'm still not sure exactly how many I'm going to do. It really is just going to depend on my mood and how much, like, I don't know, I want to keep it, oh, my mirror just fell that I set up. It's the first time I've used this right here. I really want to get this on a regular schedule so it's like content that you can depend on so that you know I always post this day of the week, you know, or something like that. So then you guys always know. I mean, I personally love it when YouTube channels do that, so I know other people do as well. So I'm going to try to do that once I kind of figure out how much is feasible for me. I don't want to commit to something and then it just be like way too much work. So I don't know if you guys care about makeup so much, but I can always tell you stuff that I'm using in future vlogs. So what will I be talking about? Pretty much a lot of the stuff that you see in Vlogmas, like just less of it, I guess, because there's no need for you to know like every single thing that I do every single day. And plus it's always like a somewhat filtered version, you know, of events of my life and stuff too. Some things I do like to keep private, but it'll be a lot of the similar stuff that you see in Vlogmas, just less of it. So a lot of sewing and knitting potentially, because I haven't been knitting a whole lot this past year for a little while, let's be honest. So a lot of making content, so that's always gonna stay. Things that we're cooking, things that we get up to. I mean, obviously we're still in quarantine because of coronavirus, not like heavy quarantine like other countries are, but the only places that we go are grocery shopping. So grocery shopping potentially, just whenever we're allowed to go out. You know, I'm hearing from our district, what's the word, like representatives, that people like able, healthy-bodied young people will probably be getting the vaccine sometime in the summer. So we still have a whole spring to go, but gardening, so much gardening because I've ordered a few new seeds. I have plenty from last year to get me through, but there are some new things that I want to add to the garden this year, so you'll be seeing me like start my seed starts and stuff like that. So just plenty of things like hubbub to do around the house, and because I know you guys really like vlogs, so that's what I'm going to make more of this year. And then also just like more like sit down videos with like my craft stuff and like any kind of fabric hauls, although I have plenty of fabric to see me through for a while, so that won't be for a while. Finished project videos, stuff like that will be like intermixed with the vlogs. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm just gonna finish putting on my... Hi. Yes, I just wanted to ask you really quick if you wanted me to make you any deviled eggs. Okay. Just making sure. All right, you having a good day? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Andrew. I called him a little bit ago when I put the eggs in to see if he wanted me to make him some deviled eggs. A lot of you are curious about what Andrew does. He is a general contractor. He went to architecture school, was an architect for a while, decided that he hated being an architect, and then joined his family's business of general contracting. But it turns out that architecture school is like really helpful for that, for obvious reasons. So that's what he does. He's a general contractor. It's a hard job. I definitely do not wish that job upon anybody. Anyway, so I'm just gonna get back to putting on my makeup, finish doing that, and then getting ready to start my workday. What time is it? 8:52. So my workday starts at 9:30. So I'm gonna finish making those deviled eggs for my breakfast, have that and some coffee. I still haven't poured myself a cup of coffee yet. And then I'll get back to you in a little bit with a lot of chatty thoughts about New Year stuff. I love New Year's, love it. All finished, dusted with paprika, and really it's just a simple recipe. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. I'm pretty sure I did during Vlogmas, but I will link it in this video as well. I have not had any time to do my hair today, so I'm throwing it up into this bun, but I figured I would show you my outfit. I'm wearing my... What? What? The sweetest boy in the world. Oh, that's Jafar. Some people have trouble telling them apart. You can tell him apart because he has socks on, so his feet are all white, and only the tips of Mika's paws are white, so we say that her toenails are painted. So that's Mika, and then that's Jafar. Anyway, so I'm wearing my French Poetry Patterns Etoile dress. It's one of my favorite patterns of all time, a V-neck button-down dress with short sleeves. And this one turned out pretty short, so I made it again and lengthened it a little bit, but the problem with the second one that I made is I don't really like the fabric that I used. It's like this really, I'll show you actually. It's been sitting here for months, not hemmed. I'm sure you guys have seen this one before, but it's this like really bold graphic print. I need to finish it and maybe I'll wear it in the summertime. We'll see. I don't know, but it's a really nice fabric. Anyway, but that fabric is a dead stock fabric from Blackbird Fabrics, but the print is just like so bold and graphic and high contrast that I just like don't gravitate toward prints like that. So I like it in theory, but to wear, it's just hard to imagine me wearing it. But anyway, so French Poetry Etoile dress, I've made this dress several times now. That's the other one that I've made like in full, but I've used this pattern to hack other dresses like 4 times now. So it's definitely a TNT, tried and true for me. It is a little bit after 9:30 now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start my work day. And I need to remember in this camera to look here, not here, at myself. So it's time to start my work day. Pretty much, I'll just show you my setup real quick. So I have my 2 computers. This one's my work computer, this one's my personal computer. Pretty much I just like do my work over here and then watch YouTube videos all day while I work here. On Mondays I like to start my day by taking stock of what I have to do, and then I submit that to my manager. So like any of my like really active projects, so that they know how much bandwidth I have to assign me new things in the meanwhile. So I'll be taking stock of that this morning, and so far it's not been super busy since coming back to work. I think because this time of year is really not the busy season for my industry. I am a graphic designer, but I work for an ed tech company or like an education publishing firm. So our busy season is more in the summertime when schools are out but administration is still in. So they're that's when they're deciding like what programs they're going to buy and what educational materials they're going to use. So summer is really more of our busy season. This is kind of the slow part of the year, which is nice because then I can like catch up on like back burner projects and personal design work and stuff like that. I'll check in with you later, but for now I'm just going to be taking stock of lots of cat hairs as usual, taking stock of the projects that I have right now. So I just submitted all of my projects to my manager, and now I'm working on a little side personal project while I wait to hear back about some of my work project stuff. So I am, let me show you, I am cataloging all of the seeds that I have right now. I realized that it would be helpful for me to know the seeds that I have because there are quite a few. It is not a huge garden by any stretch of the imagination, but different things grow in different parts of the year, etc., etc. And so I just don't want to forget what I have or over order or under order if there's something that I really want to grow. So I try to put my orders in like 1 or 2 or 3 depending on where I can get some of the things, like big orders, so that I'm not constantly shipping things to myself. So I'm about halfway through right now cataloging them. I'm just adding like the type of thing that it is, so like spinach, and then the variety of what it is. And then I also want to add information about the seed company that I purchased it from, and then on the Excel document if I've grown it before, and then if it was successful or not, and then maybe some notes about why I think it wasn't successful, because then that will be helpful for me for following years. So cataloging what I have. I placed a few orders already for seeds that I want to put into my garden for next year, so I'm really excited for those to come in. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the garden this year. I feel like I learned so much last year with my new to me space, so I'm really excited to implement some of the things that I learned from last year into this year's garden. It's a learning process every single year. I feel like gardeners know this, that there's always something new to try and something new to learn, so I'm just having the time of my life with this garden. Alright, I am done cataloging my seeds, which feels really good to have everything kind of labeled and in one place and kind of kept track of. I know there are others that I have that I'm just not able to write down because they're over at the garden, like in my gardening tool bag or whatever, but I'm kind of going on the policy that if I can't put my hands on them, if I cannot physically see them, then I'm not going to catalog it, because I just want to make sure I'm putting in there everything that I know I have for sure. Anyway, so right now it's lunchtime. I'm getting ready to make my lunch. Normally I meal prep my lunches on Sundays. Today's Monday, but because we grocery shopped yesterday and I just didn't feel like cooking. I crafted yesterday with Emily virtually. We call each other on Google Hangout and then craft and hang out and stuff like that. And anyway, I didn't get to making it, so I'm gonna make my lunch for the week right now and then go ahead and eat my portion. This week, Andrew and I decided to eat vegetarian. One of our kind of goals every year is to reduce our carbon footprint, which I have a lot of thoughts about, just because there are a handful of companies that are responsible for the majority of carbon emissions in this world, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't still be implementing our own sustainable habits. So every year we try to implement more things that we think will make us more sustainable. And this year we decided we're going to try to do a meatless Monday. So that's where you just don't eat meat once a week. So we're going to go for that. But this week we're kind of getting our feet wet, not even feet wet. We're jumping all the way in by just being completely vegetarian for a week, which honestly is not very difficult for me. I just don't really eat. Back before Andrew and I even met each other, I didn't really eat that much meat to begin with. So if somebody told me you have to be a vegetarian tomorrow, I'd be okay, it really would not be the end of the world. So yeah, so we're gonna be doing that this week. And so I'm cooking my meal today. Hold on, let me set you up over here so I'm not having to hold on to this. Okay, so I'm logging on to my personal computer. Let me see, I know I have the tabs open. What am I cooking for myself this week? We always plan out all of our meals on Sundays, so everything that we want to cook, we make a huge grocery list and then do one big shop so that we only have to go to the grocery store once a week. Sometimes they're out of stuff at the grocery store because Brooklyn grocery stores are tiny. So occasionally we have to go back for certain items if they don't have it, but I think this week we were able to get everything, which is good. We cook exclusively from Skinny Taste. If you've been following me for any length of time, then you know I love that recipe blog. I just think it tastes really good and the flavor profile just really hits the spot for me. Where is my recipe? It was some really cool paprika chicken, although I'm not using chicken, I'm going to substitute potatoes in it. Aha, found it. Okay. It's called paprika chicken stew. So it's a stew recipe. Chicken is part of it, but I'm going to leave out the chicken and instead I'm going to add root vegetables. So we have carrots, potatoes, and I'm also going to add mushrooms to it as well. So I'm really excited about it. It looks really delicious. I love paprika. In fact, we have a drawer, let me show you, specifically for our spices. Like, we love spicing our food, and we decided to go ahead and just get big ones of the ones we use the most often, because like we were just replacing the little ones over and over. So we have a big one of red pepper flakes, cumin, paprika, and adobo seasoning. So those are our favorites. But yeah, paprika is something that Andrew introduced me to. He cooks with a lot of paprika, and he really got me into it. It's just like such a great spice for having like spiced food, but not spicy food. And I really love spicy food as well, but it's just got such a great flavor. So I love paprika. It's one of my favorites. Got everything in the pot now. I'm just bringing this to a boil. I added a bit more liquid than the recipe calls for because it was looking a little too thick. Here is the finished stew. It still has about 10 minutes left to cook on the stove, but I have a meeting in about that time, so I thought I would go ahead and get going on it because I'm really hungry and it smells delicious. I found those in the fridge. They looked
gnarly.
Past due. Just poured these down my shirt. Tacos. Mushrooms. Beans. We're using the fajita seasoning. They're gonna be roasted, so it's 2 nights of tonight, for our Monday night vegetarian, I already told him why we decided to do vegetarian for a week and then meatless Monday for the rest of the year. We're making a like beans and oh, I need to make that rice pilaf. I forgot the beans and rice fajita, like a veggie tacos or whatever with a fajita seasoning spice, and then we're cooking a roasted radish and onion before. I saw the recipe on Skate Days and the radishes. I've not cooked radishes in this way before, so I'm interested to try something new rather than just like eating them raw on stuff, which is how I normally eat them. Andrew's making a pico. Andrew I refer to as the Spice King because, as I showed you from the spice store earlier, I mean I cook with a lot of spices too, but he's really good at pairing different spice combinations into stuff, so I always have him taste test things and tell me what spices to add. And then you're making brownies.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like sewing room working on a super simple palette cleanser project. I'm making a silk pillowcase made out of a silk charmeuse from fabric.com. I have finished my Jaclyn blazer and I'm dying to show you guys. I just like really want to style it up in some cool photos. Maybe I'll show it to you tomorrow though. It turned out so beautifully, but wow, that project is not for the faint of heart. Tailoring projects are no joke. So for such an easy project, because I started this yesterday right after the Jaclyn blazer, I shouldn't have started anything yesterday. I was just in the mood to sew, but reading those instructions where they're so detailed and you just like couldn't miss a thing, and there were several aspects of the graphic design that I felt could use some improvement. So anyway, I started this project when I shouldn't have, and I've already been making a bunch of dumb mistakes. Luckily, it's just a pillowcase, so it's not the end of the world, but I'm really excited to try these out because I hear that they are great, like excellent for your skin, and my skin gets really bad in the wintertime. They also have antibacterial. That's the word I was trying to think of. Looking forward to trying this, but I have to do some unpicking because I made some dumb mistakes yesterday. Good morning, everybody. I am just getting ready for work right now. It'd help maybe if I didn't like let you fall over. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to use my better camera so you have better quality video. Anyway, so I am currently getting ready for work right now. I did my yoga this morning. I put on my makeup. I'm really enjoying trying to like wear makeup more often. I really love makeup. It's like a creative outlet for me, and I love researching makeup. Before I was even into or even heard of knitting YouTube and knitting podcasts, I was very deep in the beauty rabbit hole, which is kind of like, I don't know, in a way like a mixture of the things that I'm doing here, like lifestyle vlogging and like craft vlogging, like in the same vlog, just because that's kind of like what makes me me. So anyway, I've been really enjoying wearing makeup more lately and playing with makeup more. I've been doing that for the past couple months because I realized like when I'm not going into the city, at the beginning of lockdown last year, I stopped kind of wearing it after a while because I was like, what's the point? But then I'm like, I don't know, I feel good when I wear it, so I'm gonna wear it because I like wearing it. So a few months ago, I started wearing more makeup and loving it. I didn't start the dishwasher last night. Yeah, so this morning just did my yoga, and now I'm having some deviled eggs as per usual and some coffee. Okay, let's do it. Let's talk resolutions. Okay, now before I start this segment, I just want to let you guys know that I follow a lot of thoughts and commentary and different perspectives and point of views on social media about New Year's resolutions, and I totally understand why the whole New Year, New Me thing gets a lot of flack. Like, there's no reason that you have to be somebody else if you don't want to be, or you don't have to start new things if you don't want to start them. Like, yes, 100%. On the other side of that, I am a totally goal-oriented person. If you know me in my personal life or just follow my YouTube and social media for long periods of time, like, I'm always setting goals for myself. This is not something that happens just at New Year's, but I do love the fresh start mentality of New Year. So typically at the start of a new year, I love to just like make a list of all of the things that I would like to try to accomplish in the new year. Call it resolutions, call it goals. Some of them change, some of them stay, are from on the same year after year, always on that list. And it's not that I feel a pressure to be a new person, I don't. But I am such a self-motivated, self-starter kind of person. I really like goals and challenges. It's something that works for me. So when you hear this list, I don't think you're gonna be like super surprised by anything on it. Most of it is stuff I already do. So I like the kind of ideas of just like things I want to quit doing, things I want to continue doing, things I'd love to try. A lot of it is just like things I want to experiment with or things I want to continue on, and putting the pen on paper and reflecting back on the previous year and just how much had to change and evolve from the previous year and will continue to, at least for the beginning of this year. It's just nice to have some thoughts around how I can structure my day, just because there is such a lack of structure last year that I'm the kind of person that likes that sort of thing. So take it with a grain of salt. None of this is personal. If you don't want to change anything and you just need to survive, that in itself is fine. Okay, so Number 1, post a YouTube vlog once a week or just a YouTube video once per week. This is a pretty big goal for me because normally my posting has been very erratic. At the start of this YouTube channel, I was very committed to posting to every other week, so once every 2 weeks. And I had that consistency down. If you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, consistency is absolutely number 1 key. Like, reliable content that people know that they can expect from you is what's going to help your YouTube channel or social media channel, whatever that may be, grow. So there's a little tip for you. And to that end, thinking about where I'm posting, what I'm posting, how much I'm posting, just because I like having a schedule of reliable content that I can produce on a certain timetable. It works better for me and it works better for you guys. So posting regular YouTube vlogs or videos, like I like the idea of doing a mixture of vlogs and then more formal like sit down videos showing you what I'm making, or just a dedicated video about a topic that I'm interested in. Oh, also that reminds me, I'm going to be changing the name of my YouTube channel just to my name, just to Jaclyn Salem. Brooklyn Knitfolk, I feel, served its purpose for what it was, but I'm not really talking only about knitting, and every other social media that I use, I say every other, but like Ravelry and Instagram, those are the only other ones. But every other thing I have is found under my name, Jaclyn Salem. So I think it just makes more sense to change this YouTube channel to my name. So look out for that in the coming days, weeks. I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be to change it to that. Next one, start a free blog. So I have a Patreon and I need to work out what's going to kind of go on each channel. Patreon may end up going away in the future. I'm not sure yet. Right now I'm not charging patrons while I'm figuring that out. So Patreon is free for people who are subscribed to it, but I definitely want to start a free blog. So as part of my goals this year, I've been already working behind the scenes on a new website. So I'm really excited about that. I've been using Squarespace. I'm not sponsored by them, but they just make it so easy to make a new website. So I've been redoing like my graphic design portfolio alongside adding a blog to the website. So I'm really excited about that and hope to get that off the ground in like the next month or so. So it's a lot of work making a new website, but Squarespace makes it really easy. A deep spring cleaning or winter cleaning, if you will. So there are four areas in my house that need like a desperate clear out and organization. My closet, my bathroom, my nightstand, and my craft supplies. I'm not proposing I'm doing that all at once, but I just need to like put these dates on my calendar to be like, okay, this day I'm saving the day or the weekend, however long I think it will take, to tackle each of these 4 things. So 4 different dates to do my closet, my bathroom, my nightstand, and my craft supplies. Next one, which I've already been doing, work on my sewing wardrobe. So I made huge strides last year in sewing my me-made wardrobe, and I really just want to continue on that trajectory. I wear mostly, I mean, of course I say that as I'm wearing something I did not make, but I wear mostly stuff that I make now, which is like really exciting. So I've been having a lot of fun with my sewing, and so I just want to continue on that trajectory of more me-made clothes in my wardrobe and replacing any like ready-to-wear that needs to go with a me-made item. Next one, go to France with Andrew if it is safe. So I'm not sure if traveling is even going to be in the cards for this year. From what I'm hearing from my district representatives, the vaccine will not be available to like able-bodied, like non-frontline workers until summertime. So at the earliest, summer is when I would be able to get the vaccine, and I don't know if other countries will allow other people to travel. So that's like very up in the air, but I would love, last year we had plans to go to France for like a 2-week vacation, and that got postponed, of course. So I'm just dying to go. Next one, continue improving my photography. So you may or may not have noticed that I've been really trying to up my game on my photography skills. And I do this with Skillshare. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish that I was, but I've been a long time Skillshare member for probably like ever since I graduated from college. So like right after I graduated from college, I got a Skillshare membership, and I use it in varying degrees of intensity. Like there are some years where I've like gone like hard on watching the Skillshare videos, and other years where it's just like kind of fallen off my radar. But typically right now, if I'm not watching my YouTube subscription, so any kind of YouTube video that's new, I'll watch that. And then if I don't have any YouTube videos, I'll just turn on Skillshare in the background. I'm not on it like eyes glued to the Skillshare video. It's more just like background noise, but I'm still picking up that knowledge and those tips like while I'm working at my day job. So watching more Skillshare, continuing to improve my photography. That's how I got better at photography last year, was through watching all these Skillshare videos. So that was really exciting, and I'd love to continue developing my photography skills. And then to that end, my next one is to continue taking great project photos for Instagram. I love taking nice pictures of the clothes that I make for my Instagram. Something I'd like to quit doing is I want to quit biting my nails again. Oh God. Some of you may know the struggle. I was a terrible, like absolutely horrific, and I am again now, horrific nail biter for like 95% of my life. And then one day I was on the subway and I was like gripping the subway pole. This was like, I don't know, 4 years ago. And I looked at my hands and I thought, if I were somebody else and saw how gnarly, nasty my fingernails are, I would think that was so gross. And I quit that day and I never looked back. For like 3 years, I didn't bite my nails. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, I just started biting them again out of nowhere. And it just like, it drives me crazy because they look so nice when I grow them out. But I just have such an addiction to biting them, and I just don't know. I wish I tried like watching hypnotism videos on YouTube. I've tried the nasty nail polish stuff that like tastes disgusting. Even when I paint them, when they look nice, it does deter me from biting them, but I do it so absent-mindedly that I like don't think about it sometimes. So yeah, I just have to think of something to help myself do that, because I really want to stop biting my nails again. This is a big one for me. Read every day. I used to read so much, and now I get into this like doom scrolling, which I wouldn't even call it doom scrolling, because I find Instagram so inspirational, and I love following you guys and your sewing projects and your knitting projects, and I love seeing what you guys are up to because it inspires so many of my own projects. So it's not really doom scrolling for me. It's just that I use a lot of my time to like look at other people's work to get inspiration for my own, and I just want to spend more of that reading more books and getting away from my phone a little bit more. Next one, move my body every day. Wow, if 2020 wasn't something that exposed a lot to me about my habits and my behavior. Like, whenever I started working from home, obviously all of the walking, like to and from the subway, like really just walking anywhere. And I was a huge class person, like exercise classes. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that. I love spin classes, cycling classes. And I really, really miss that because obviously we can't go to the gym right now and I'm not walking hardly at all. So just like moving my body in some capacity every day is something that's been really good for me. Again, that's something I've been implementing for a little while now. I just don't like make a point to talk about it, but I have started doing yoga in the mornings when I wake up, which has been nice, and I live right across the street from the park, so taking walks around the park, so just stuff like that. But I really miss cycling classes like so much. Like I ride my bike, but it's not the same as cycling classes. I miss it. And to that end, another one is be able to do the splits. This one has been on my like resolutions goals list for like 5 years in a row. I don't know if it's just not possible for some people to be able to do the splits. Maybe it's just not possible for some bodies. I have been trying to be able to do the splits for years. I stretch and then I don't get very far, and then I stop doing it because I'm like, oh, what's the point? And I really, really want to be able to do the splits. I just have this idea in my head that flexibility is so important as we age and get older, in both mental flexibility and physical flexibility. And it just teaches me so much about patience and about life. And I feel like if you lose your flexibility, you lose your ability to do a lot of things. So, and again, that goes for like mental flexibility, like emotional flexibility, as well as physical flexibility. So I just have it in my head that I want to be able to do the splits. And this has been a goal of mine for years, and I've just never been able to achieve it, but it's on my list every year. So here's hoping that maybe this is the year I will be able to do the splits. My next one, lots of garden cookouts. That's again something I did last year. It was wonderful for lockdown because we have like a little patio at the garden and a grill where we can do cookouts, and it was wonderful. So I just want to continue doing that this year once the weather is warmer. It's just so amazing to like pluck tomatoes from my garden and eat them fresh for the garden cookout. Meatless Mondays. So I've already kind of talked about that briefly. We just want to reduce our carbon footprint in small and easy ways. The next one, hold my politicians accountable. This is a really important one. I feel like I felt a lot of fatigue about our previous president's behavior, and it was just a lot to stay motivated to keep calling representatives and, participating in politics. But it's so important still now, even with Joe Biden as our elected president, because we need to make sure, or I need to make sure, I am holding him accountable to the values that are important to me. So I just don't want him to get elected and then do nothing after that. So I just want to make sure that I'm staying invested and abreast of what's happening with politics, especially my local politicians, for my representatives for the district that I live in, but also federal politics, to keep advancing the causes of things I care about, like Black Lives Matter and things like that. So hold my politicians accountable. Something I want to continue, my meal planning habits. I talked about this again earlier in the vlog, but meal planning is something I started doing in, I think, 2018, maybe 2017, I can't remember for sure. It has made such a difference to my life in so many ways. If you've never tried meal planning, oh my gosh, I highly recommend giving it a go for so many reasons. Like financial savings is a huge one. You just save so much money, because whenever I would feel fatigued and not want to cook something, I would just eat out, and then that spends so much money, and eating out is also not as healthy for you. So yeah, like financial savings is a big one. When you're had like a long day and you don't know what you want to make, having the meal plan is like so much of like a mental, emotional load off of you, that's another huge one. If you have specific health or dietary needs, obviously meal planning is a big helper there. So I just like meal planning works so well for me, and Andrew is a total convert as well now that he sees how helpful it is. Next one, figure out the living room accessorizing. This room is such a challenge for me. We have all of the major furniture in here, but for some reason the room just does not feel like pulled together 100% for me. I don't know what it is. We tried wallpaper in here, did not work. Yeah, so it needs more character and more accessories, and I have so many pins pinned on Pinterest trying to figure out what I want the room to be like, but it's just so difficult for me for some reason. There, like, our other rooms in our house that I think are great, like our kitchen, love it. The big office dining area, love it. Like, there's so many solid rooms that are just like done, and the living room is just this one that confounds me for some reason. So I just need to have a think on Pinterest and get really strict with myself about the kinds of things that I purchased to bring in here to like properly accessorize it, and the kind of art, and maybe even painting the walls. I'm just not sure about it. So I really like to figure out the living room accessorizing, because all the big pieces are purchased. Like I said, it's just about like the final touches that pull it together. And then the other ones that I have on here are just like specific to the garden. So I have a whole list that is specific to garden planting and things I want to plant in the garden. And yeah, I can go over those with you in a different video. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's my list. So a lot of it, again, is just like stuff that I'm already doing and want to continue. A few things that I want to quit, like biting my nails. Some goals like posting more videos to YouTube on a schedule, my free blog. Yeah, so I'm really excited about these. So let me know in the comments below if you guys have any like big goals that you want to try out this year. I love hearing about like plans and ideas. I'm such a planner. I'm so type A. I have lists for my lists and lists, like literally lists on lists on lists for everything. I'm, yeah, huge type A planner. So I would love to know what you guys are excited about for this year. And yeah, let me know. So thank you so much. I think I'm gonna end the video here because I'm sure with the vlogging that I've been doing that it's getting a bit long, but I will be back hopefully next week on the same schedule. I have to decide what days I'm gonna be posting. I will let you know as soon as I kind of like figure out what works for me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, come on. I know, you don't want to move. Oh, why was I sitting on my legs for so long? Can you get up? You want cuddles, I know you do. Okay, come on. Oh, yeah.